I'm sick, so bear with me. I just had some news drop. I was going to make a full video on this because I just released a video that just came out. So, but big news, and it's big news not exactly for the purpose of exactly a big name being signed, but it's a name that I think most people are unfamiliar with, including myself, and I had to do some research. That's why we're a little bit late to actually going live on this, but whatever. The Orioles, they're doing weird stuff this year, and presumably, as my screen goes out, get that back up. Um, they needed starting pitching, obviously. And as you guys probably saw, especially if you're watching this from X, you've already got your Jeff Passon's information, you got your Bob Nightingale information. So you know already that Tomoyuki Sugano just signed a 1-year deal with $13 million for the Baltimore Orioles. Now, he's been a starting pitcher for all of his career. And the crazy thing about this signing is that he's not a Roki Sasaki. He's not a Shohei Ohtani. He's 35 years old. That's exactly what I was getting to. Age-wise, he's 35 years old. He's been in the MPB for 12 years already. And I understand that before I say this next thing, I understand that the ball at the MPB is much different than it is in the MLB. The grip is different. I believe the size of it is slightly off from what you get in the MLB. But bear with me. But, and this is pretty big. His numbers are insane. So if I were to share this with you all, let's get this pulled up. He started his professional career over in Japan in 2013 at the age of 23. Now it is 2024 and he's 34. So going into next season, he's going to be 35-ish. I don't know exactly his age. It's not that relevant, but look at his numbers. Now, if we are to look at everything here, his literal worst, like full season, 3.8. I think it's a 3. I think it was his first year. No, here we go. 2019, a 4.29. Or sorry, that's a 3.89. There we go. Get my numbers mixed up. A 3. I knew it wasn't over 4. A 3.89 ERA for a full season, 11 wins, 6 losses. That's the worst season he's ever had in over a decade. Now, going back to my caveat, I understand, MPB is different than MLB. It's a probably equivalent to AAA compared to the MLB. Probably. There are some players out there that are very much MLB level ability and can obviously be superstars. So we saw that in Ohtani by a million degrees, and now Roki Sasaki's coming over. So we'll see how he fares. Even before that, Hideki Matsui, Ichiro Suzuki, like there are good players out there that can handle the MLB. And the MPB, they were also very good. And this is a great example. Now, he has only played for one team his entire career, and that's the Giants over in Japan. Coming over to play in a whole new league for his second team ever might be a little concerning. It's a big change. Although he's 35, I think he can handle himself. He's probably mature enough to take on the media and how that's and handle himself with the media, I should say. Because he's kind of had that background. He's already a superstar in Japan. And I'm going to say superstar just because of his numbers and just because of how much he's accomplished, how long he's been able to hold it. This last season, he threw a 1.67 ERA. What? 1.67 ERA, 15 wins, 3 losses. So in Japan, he is significantly better than Paul Skeens. Let's have that wrap around your head. I'm just putting that out there for everybody to let that soak in. Think about it. His win-loss record for his entire season, 136 wins and 74 losses. Yeah. His earned run average career wide is 2.43. He has 1,500 strikeouts recorded. Now let's go down to his career highlights. I'm sorry, guys. I came down with something rough after we did that fundraiser with Raise a Triant, Mariner Mojo, guys from Locked On were there, Marine Layer podcast, everybody, Jage, a lot of people showed up. I'm probably forgetting somebody. I'm sorry. It's just my mind's everywhere. Career highlights: 3-time Central League MVP in 2014, 2020, 2020, and this last year in 2024. Central League Climax Series MVP in 2013. He's a Japanese triple crowned in 2018, which is the same year that Shohei began his rookie season in the MLB. A 2-time, and I'm going to mess this up, E.G. Sawamura Award 2017, 2018, 3-time Central League Mitsu Golden Glove Award 2016 all the way through 2018. He's an 8-time All-Star from 2013 all the way to 2019, and then again in 2022. He's a 3-time Central League wins leader in 2017, 2018, and in 2020. He's a 4-time Central League ERA leader in 2024, 2016, all the way to 2020 or 2018. 2-time Central League strikeout leader in 2016 and 2018, and he pitched a no-hitter in the climax lead of on October 14th in 2018. So 2018 obviously was his gold standard. That was his best year he's ever had. But that was his ceiling. And this last season, he threw a better ERA than Paul Skeens, and I believe, based on what we're looking at here, I'm going to go back to the screen that I'm sharing with you guys currently, that he pitched more games than Paul Skeens did. He pitched more games than Paul Skeens did. I'm high on Paul Skeens, clearly. I think he is the best pitcher in baseball right now. And I think he's better than Shohei Ohtani, especially right now, because even if Shohei is at the top of his peak, after a TJ, it's still not going to be as good as it was before. So we have a guy who is going to play in the MLB for the Orioles. I think this is their replacement for Burns. Permanently, this is going to be their ace. Do I think he's going to throw 1.67 ERA next season? No. Do I think he's going to throw a 3.36, which is what he threw in 2023? Maybe. Will he throw a 2.5? No. Maybe a 3.0. I think that translation from the MPB to the MLB is going to be significantly decreased as far as his performance ability here in the MLB, but he is still going to be elite. He's still, I think, if he can adjust, if he can get used to the ball handling, and this is perfect because it's December 16th. It's December 16th, which means he has months to work on his throwing, to work on his pitching, to adapt to the new environment, to also get used to that ball, to get on the mound and work with the coaches and see what he can do to sustain his success that he had in the MPB. This is a huge pickup for the Orioles that I didn't see coming. I didn't see anybody posting about this. I didn't know he was posted for the MLB this year. I didn't exactly look at the list. So, if you saw that, good for you. You know more than I do. But you didn't know that he was going to sign with the Orioles. I'll tell you that because there's been no discussion of that. So what does that lead to? Okay, so Corbin Burns, I think, is off the table. Just the way they've been operating, they're putting a bunch of money into restructuring their field. They put a big contract out there for the Orioles to get Tyler O'Neill. I think that left field is going to be catered to the way he hits so they can maximize his ability at the plate. And they're getting cheap pitching. I thought they would be in on the Roki Sasaki. They might still be, to be honest with you. Could you imagine having Roki Sasaki Kyle Bradish, Grayson Rodriguez, and Sugano as your 4, that's wild. That would be a very good rotation. And you know what? Even if we switch it up, if we did Kyle Bradish, Grayson Rodriguez, and then the 2 Japanese stars coming over, just in case they aren't what they crack up to be. I know that they're good, but this is still an adapting moment like I've been talking about. Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine that. Pigtown, sorry, dude. I'm a little late to your question. 1.8 career. He's 2.47 career, I believe. 2.43 career ERA for 10 years. 12 years, 12 seasons. For 12 seasons, that's his career ERA. That's wild. Yeah. That's wild. That's absolutely nuts. But I don't know what's going on with the Orioles because their GM doesn't seem to want to spend, which is confusing to me. But $13 million for a starting pitcher for 1 year. And that's a smart contract. It really is. Because you just don't, like I said, you don't know how he's going to turn out. You don't know how he's going to be. But you have a very high ceiling that can be reduced down quite a bit and still be one of your best pitchers in your rotation. 100%. Even if he throws a 3.8 ERA, he's still one of your better pitchers. And he's been, as far as I know, he's been healthy. That's a huge increase to his value. And 13 million, I think, is going to be the most he's ever made in comparison. Let's see. I'm just reading on trade rumors. So yeah, so he's coming off a 1.97 ERA, which is this last season, showing in his age of 30. Let's see. Certainly attack tension, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he didn't find a deal that compelled him to leave Japan. Instead, Sugano returned to the Giants for a 4-year deal that paid him $40 million. So he's done, his last contract was $10 million a year for 4 years. So this is a 1-year deal at $13 million. So this will be the most he's made as far as I can read. That's in here. He's 6'1". He's a right-hander, which means good, because if they are changing that wall in left field, pitching the right-handers is going to be hard for them to hit. If he was a lefty, it would be very questionable, because it sounds like they're making it a lot easier for righties to hit home runs in that stadium. So stock up on right-handed pitching, and this guy is extremely good. I mean, his strikeout rate was 4 percentage points lower than the 22% MLB average for starting pitchers, but it seems like a lot of the MPB hitters are more, they're slap hitters. You know what I mean? Like they're Ichiro style. They're not like powerhouse big bats. The last one we saw was Otani, and I mean that's kind of it. I mean, you have Ichiro, Hideki Matsui, I guess, was a home run kind of hitter, but I mean, even Korea is a lot more focused on like contact. Let's see. I'm trying to see. I mean, his velocity is not really as great. 92, 93, but if he can locate, he can locate. It should be good. I don't see anything wrong with this. I think this is going to be an incredible signing for the Orioles. I wish my Mariners jumped on this as fast as they did. Let me take a look at this. I'm going to look at the fan graph. So I'm assuming that they have updated this. I don't know. What are you guys doing tonight? It's a Monday night. I'm a bit out of focus, aren't I? I'm trying. This is my backup camera. I'm sorry, guys. Get my hand. Oh, God. This is annoying. Backup camera. Stop sucking. There we go. I just had to be closer to you guys. Whatever. Excuse me. Leave a comment. You guys are watching on YouTube. Feel free to drop a comment. I can read it here. If you guys are on X, you can switch over to YouTube if you can. And that way I can at least see your comments. I don't know why I'm not getting any Twitter feed comments. You can throw them in there if you want. Maybe it'll pop up. If not, you can let me know. I could try to figure out how to fix it. But what does this mean for the Orioles? Because Burns are out. I mean, they got to be going after one more pitcher. Because pitching is like the biggest hole. Infield is pretty solid. They have a robust amount of young infielders that, you know, they're really, I would say they're pretty content. They should be pretty content. First base is still questionable. Mountcastle's been taking a dive recently. And O'Hearn doesn't seem like a bad fit. I mean, if you do O'Hearn at first and then you do Mountcastle's DH and just rotate those guys, you'd be fine. Again, it's just like last year. I think you should upgrade your outfield. You did with Tyler O'Neill, kind of. They're not going after Santander. I can tell you that right now. I feel like they're being cheap, so they're focusing on pitching and then rolling with what they got, which cheap is so weird with this new ownership. I would expect them to go out and spend a little bit more money, but maybe it's the construction of the field that is holding them back. I really don't know what's going on there, because they have such a young staff right now that they're not paying any money to. Like, this is almost like the Mariners situation with the pitching, and they just need to go out and get some offense. Well, I mean, Orioles just need to get some healthy pitching. Their defense is good. Their offense is, I'd say, above average. Henderson's awesome, obviously. Adley kind of took a dip last year. They lost on Tender. He was probably one of their best hitters last season. I would say he was probably the best. Westberg is back. He's going to be at third. He's good to go. I mean, Cedric Mullins was productive. I mean, what are you going to do? Kjerstad and Colson, or sorry, Kjerstad and Kauser and Wright. I'm assuming Kauser, more likely than not, going to be that everyday guy. And he was kind of a roller coaster. His highs were really good, but he didn't stay consistent with it, which is the reason why he got beat out for Rookie of the Year. Even though I don't think Luis Hill deserved it compared to Kauser, Kauser did have a really rough couple of months throughout that season. So what is that? Burns, man, I'm still in favor of him going to the Red Sox. I still think the Red Sox are going to be the one that picks him up. It's just such a good fit. It's such a good fit. And of course, he's asking a lot of money. He's going to ask a lot of money. But that is the market right now for starting pitching. This whole Castillo idea trade with Boston, I don't see it, because Boston values their players, and they undervalue anything that wears a Mariner uniform. That is it. It's literally the team that devalues the players, even though the Mariners are known to have one of the best rotations in baseball. And players like Casas, I'm not saying he's a bad player. He's not there yet. Like, he has great potential, but potential doesn't mean anything on a team that wants to win now. You know what I mean? And when you're giving up your ace, literally your ace in the hole, that's your ace on the team. Luis Castillo, that's what he signed for. He's the number one. Doesn't mean that he put on the best numbers, but he is the ace, and they see it as, oh, we need to make up excuses to why Casas is not worth Castillo. We need more in return. You're never going to get that, because the Mariners do not have a good offense. And if you're going to deplete them in the one thing they're good at, and you're not going to return with something that is solid, which Casas is not. He's 24 with hamstring issues that made him miss half of a season. He's only played 222 games. That potential, that what he could be, doesn't matter, because it's not proven. And the time that he did play at T-Mobile Park, he was awful. Away game, is what it is. One series, it was bad. That's a red flag. And to say Castillo is declining, sure, factually it is. But he's not declining like end of his career declining. He's declining like 0.3 in his ERA. That's it for the past 3 years. Coming up when he had a Cy Young contending season. That's what you're degrading from, Cy Young level. Not like, oh, he's decent. No, Cy Young level. So I don't see Boston doing a trade. Unless they're able to get, I don't know, Jesus Luzardo and snag him underneath the Cubs. But why not do both? Go get Corbin Burns. The Orioles are not going to grab him. They're not going to make an offer. That's one less person in your division that's going to not be after Corbin Burns, which is good for the Red Sox. For the Orioles, I think you replaced him. I think you did good. I think this is a great pickup. Like Sugano is elite, and I think he'll be top tier next season for Baltimore. I don't think that Corbin Burns is going to the Blue Jays, so we probably put that behind us. And if you're a Blue Jays fan, I'm sorry, but like, I don't know what your guys' front office is doing. Like the Andres Jimenez deal was very questionable. My head's still scratching on that one because great defender, but defense doesn't get you anything at one position if his bat is dead and your pitching is full of holes. Yeah. Is it Bowden? He did great last year. I expect him to be like a number 3 in your guys' rotation for the Blue Jays, but you guys need pitching. But why would Corbin sign with Toronto, especially with the taxes up there? He might want to actually win. And right now, as it sits here in mid-December, Blue Jays are still a last place team. And with the fact that Vladdy is not going to sign there, Corbin, I don't think, wants to be with a team that's going to lose their star probably at the trade deadline, if not in a couple weeks. Very soon. So I don't think Corbin, I think Corbin's staying East, and I think it's the Red Sox. Unless the Yankees offer him a bigger deal, which they have the money for. They can do it. But I think Corbin's going to the Red Sox. At least I'm hoping, because that would make most sense. It would just make the AL East a lot more interesting because the Yankees got Max Fried. The Orioles now have a future Hall of Famer of the MPB. And the Red Sox, I mean, they got Garrett Crochet, but imagine if you had Corbin Burns and Garrett Crochet as your starting 2, and then you have Giolito to follow after that. Houck. Not so much Bello. Ruben, I've been going over that. That's what I'm talking about. I think Red Sox, probably. Burns is probably going to the Red Sox. If they wake up and send that offer, because this is more leverage, I think, for the Red Sox, because that's one less team that's going to be out there to get Burns. So the price isn't going up when teams are picking up other players. We saw this last year. The Yankees done dealing? No. No, there's way too many holes for the Yankees. They don't have a left field. They don't have a first base. They don't have a second base. And Cortez is gone. So you really want Stroman as your number 5? No. Not if you want another World Series attempt. And as of right now, the Orioles are going to give you a run for their money. And so are the Red Sox. If they start making moves, they don't have a bad team. They really don't. And if they're healthy, They're dangerous. And if they have all this money that they were going to give Soto, then they can go out and get big guys. So the Yankees are definitely not done. If they're done, then burn the rest of the jerseys, Yankees fans, because that's bullshit. You should not be. No. No. What are you going to do at first? Just answer me that. What are you going to do at first if you're the Yankees? Ben Rice? Really? What are you going to do in the outfield? I mean, it sounds like Dominguez is going to be there. Judge is going to be there, but who else? I mean, go get Santander. Switch hitter. You can hit, right? And you'll need that going against the Orioles because Tomoyuki is a right-handed pitcher. And you're going to want to be able to handle right-handed pitching and left-handed pitching when you go against the Orioles. So go get their guy who hit similarly to Tyler O'Neill, but he can bat on both sides of the plate. So that makes it way harder for Tomoyuki to strike him out or get him to ground out. You have a good power there. Go get Santander. He's gonna have to shave, which might be a problem. I don't see Teoscar signing with the Yankees, but hey, maybe they'll offer him the money. I think Teoscar would be a huge ad over Verdugo for the Yankees. So I don't know, John. That's what I think. There's a lot of options. There's a lot of options still out there, but as far as the starting pitching for the Orioles, this is one last team that's going after Burns. That's the whole point of this video, is that like Tomoyuki is elite starting pitching. And I think that's going to translate to the MLB as a above average pitcher, elite above average pitcher, but not like a Cy Young Award winner. I don't think he's going to be that good. But the fact that he has this much time to prep with an organization that's good at developing players, especially as we've seen, they took advantage of the draft picks, they developed them, and now you have superstars. You have Adley Rutschman. You have you have Gunnar Henderson. Jackson Holiday needs a sprout. He's killing it in AAA, but as soon as he gets jumps to the majors, it's a disaster. So I don't know what's going on there. They did update it. Okay, let me get you guys over to, let's look at Fangraphs real quick. Excuse me. I am very sick. I'm sorry, guys. All right, Gunnar Henderson. They had a 281 last year. This is their offense. I mean, okay, so they put O'Hearn at DH. They're going to swap back and forth, Mountcastle and O'Hearn. That's just, that's what makes sense. Yeah, so Cowser in right field yeah. Okay. I mean, okay, yeah. Jackson's got to figure it out. 189. But pitching, they have him as number 4. I forgot about Zach Eflin. I should have mentioned that. But this is another reason why they're out on Corbin Burns. Do I think Trevor Rogers is a good option at 4.92 ERA? No, I don't. But if Sugano can like perform like he did in the MPB, he's better than anybody else in this rotation. 1.93? Is that what it was? Get that right. No. A 1.67 ERA last year. 1.67 ERA last year. Yeah. Yeah, he had 15 wins last season. He pitched more than Skeens and had a lower ERA. How is that going to translate to MLB? Who knows? But he is not a number 4. But he's untested, so we'll see. But he's not young. He's not ignorant. He's 35. He's going to be a veteran arm coming over to a new league, and he's going to be getting people out. I don't think he's a strikeout pitcher, but I think he's going to for sure get people out. And then there are 3 down here. I'm not sure exactly where Cano is a mid. I figured he would be a setup 7, but that or Soto. But yeah, Dominguez and Batista, that's a good setup. As long as they're healthy. Jorge Mateo, I wonder where he's going to come back. It's an internal brace, which is sad that happened. So maybe they'll be looking to move him. It won't be worth a ton, but yeah. Kyle Bradish, when is he coming back? Tommy John in June, so he won't be back till mid-season. But imagine that. Sugano, Rogers gets replaced with Kyle Bradish. That's a badass team. That is a badass team. I don't know. Maybe this will be the extra push for the Orioles, because as soon as they reach the playoffs, I don't know. I don't know what happened. As soon as they reached the playoffs, it was a nightmare. They just fell on their face, and they went off into the wind, and nobody talks about them after that. So big pickup for the Orioles. I think this eliminates Corbin Burns. Corbin Burns is one less team that can sign him or make him an offer. So I think Red Sox are probably going to get Burns now. If the Orioles wanted to grab a pitcher that's cheap, Jack Flaherty. Jack Flaherty, sign him for a 1-year deal. I don't know if he would actually take a 1-year deal. Probably not, especially since he's coming off his year this year, where the year before, 2023, was not that good. He was not that good in 2023, but in 2024, he was very good. And I think he wants to take advantage of that. But if for some reason they were able to persuade Jack Flaherty to come play and be their number 5 or whatever for the rotation, wait till Kyle Bradish comes back, and then trade deadline move Jack Flaherty to get some people for next year to fill holes, to maybe even bring in a pitcher that has some control, that's young, because you will then not have Sugano next year unless you extend him. There's a lot of things that the Orioles can do right now that with players that are not super expensive. And there are a lot of players, there's a lot of starting pitchers available that have 1 year left or 3 years left that are on the trading block. And they have a lot of infielders, so they go get Cease. If you wanted to, go get Cease if you can't lock down Flaherty. You have some real elite pitching in Baltimore, and your infield will be pristine. I mean, it's such a young team. They're still under 100 million, I think, for their contracts. I don't want to look that up. I think they're 98. 98 million for their starting roster. 2025. Let's take a look. Current payroll allocations, 77.7 million. Cash total, 92 million, 92.1 million. They don't spend money. Their most expensive player is Zach Eflin, of course, acquired on a trade, so it's not like they offered him that deal. Maybe I can pull that up for you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. It's you have Zach Eflin, Tyler O'Neill coming. That was an open signing there. And then you have Sugano. So you have 16.5, 13 million. Then after that, you sign Gary. They're spending money. Gary Sanchez, 8.5. Cedric Mullins, he's ARB 3 at only 8 mil. The rest of it's so cheap. So cheap. Which makes me beg the question, would you trade? Why would you trade? You have all this young talent under control. ARB1, R2, ARB3, R1S2. Veteran down here, 1 million for Batista. I mean, pre-ARB. It's all minimum. You're going to trade this for Cease? Or Luzardo? I don't know. It'd just be better. Just like what you're doing up here. Free agent. Go sign them and bring them in. Spend that little extra money because you have so much time with these guys. That'd be the smart thing to do. Just free agent signing. Trading makes absolutely zero sense to me unless you're signing, you're trading away guys that you have bulk of. I mean, look at that. Let's see. You got deferred payments to Alex Cobb. Not much. Let's look at the multi-year. Pull this up. You have an all-star catcher. We're paying $5 million too. Mariners are paying more for Cal Raleigh. Like, so cheap. Is it really worth it? Like, this is your infielders. You have so many. Westburg, your cheapest. Trade Soto. Trade and leave on Soto. Don't freak out. Colby Mayo. Move him. Why not? You're keeping Holiday. You want to see what happens. Or you're keeping Henderson. Manuel Rivera. $1 million. ARB 2 and 3. Emmanuel Rivera. Move him. You don't need him. You have Ramon Urias. Or move Ramon Urias and save yourself $4 million. I don't know who they're going to take. I mean, Luis Urias is dog shit. I don't want to say anything crazy. We're late. We're live. But I don't know, 250. An average, about 258. Yeah, I'm going to say 258 average there. OPS, always above 700. That was a little bit below league average in 2023. Otherwise, not a bad. Move him, $4 million. And then get yourself another starting pitcher. Because you don't need any defenders. I mean, you can go get a first baseman. They all cost $22 million. Orioles are set. They really don't need anything. Get one more pitcher. Get one more pitcher, and that's all you got to do. That's how I feel about that. I don't know. What do you guys think? We've been on for 38 minutes. I think that's all I have to say about that. Huge signing for the Orioles. I don't know if it's going to be talked about enough because this is a superstar of Japan that is now going to Baltimore. I don't know when he's going to land or when he's going to start training, but I would say be excited if you're going to spring training to see these players and start collecting his cards now. Start collecting his memorabilia now because there's plenty of it for 12 years now. And it's going to be cheaper now than it will be at the end of the season because I think this is going to be an elite pitcher. And he's going to impress a lot of people. I think he might be the Shota Imanaga of 2025. Possibly. So, yeah. With that, I love all you guys. I got one more, Brandon. You think the M's make a move? When? I don't know, dude. The M's? Never. They're waiting for something, but I don't know what that something is. I really don't know what it is. If the strategy is wait out every single free agent to where Castillo is the last option for these teams and they're desperate to give up more, I don't think you're going to get a better deal. I think you're going to get a better looking available deal at that time. When if you look back to right now, you're going to get players in return that are I don't know. I just feel like the more desperate you make everybody else, the more desperate you become because your options go away as well. Does that make any sense? I don't know when the Mariners are going to make a move. I really don't. Jerry, they've already made a move by now normally. And I think the Boston thing, I think, is just a ruse to get people interested. And of course, all you heard about the reporting was that everybody was calling phones ringing for Luis Castillo now. And it's like, I think it was just a ruse. I think that they're trying to get as much interest as possible. And then when they pick one, they're going to say, well, the Cubs offered this much. So can you match it or beat it? And once they have their best offer, then they'll go to that other one. Just they're going to Scott Boras it, I think. When are they going to? Mariners are frustrating. They need to sign someone like Sugano. So have a 7-man rotation. I don't give a shit. 7-man rotation. Get Roki, get another guy over here from the MPB, Let's get the Japanese market back to Seattle. That's what I'm hoping for and demanding. Got my tea here. All right. I think that's all I have for you guys tonight. You guys have an awesome, wonderful night. I'm going to go have some Theraflu and some Tylenol PM cold medicine. And I'm going to click refresh on X until I fall asleep. So, with that said, you guys have a fantastic night, and I'll see you all later.